You thought we were done with underrated killers, but we're not. There's so many more to choose from, so we're going to do another countdown. Underrated horror killers, part 2. What is up, guys? It's time for another Drumdums Top 10. I'm trying to do at least one of these a week. They're really fun to do, and you guys seem to like them. In my recent underrated horror killers video, I got so much feedback on that one, and so many people said, why wasn't this guy on the list and this guy on the list? And I'm way ahead of you guys, because when I made my list, I really had to cut it down quite a bit, and I had some quality choice cuts in there that did not make the list. And so much so that I have to make another list. So even after I give you this list, you're still going to give me a ton down that I missed. But maybe a part 3 down the road, I don't know. And I'm going to give you some honorable mentions in this one too. Now, before I get jumping into this too, let me give you a word on spoilers, okay? Some of these killers might be like a reveal or something like that. Most of them aren't, but if they are, I will definitely give you a warning. But just know that going into this, there might be a couple on here that are spoilers for you. But like I said, I will give you a warning. And so usually I spend about a minute on each of these, so if you want to fast forward past it, you can. But a lot of these movies too are movies that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen, so you should be pretty safe. But like I said, anyway, I'll give you a warning. Okay, first honorable mention, I just reviewed this movie, Frank, Maniac. This might be one of the most disturbing, disgusting killers out there. He's definitely got some major mommy issues. He's very violent. He doesn't hold back whatsoever. He's got some major control issues with his victims. And just the movie itself, it fits his personality. It's very gritty. It's very dark. We're talking about the original 1980 one, by the way. I think Frank in the remake is like almost a different killer altogether. And maybe that's a visual thing too. Joe Spinell, I think, was perfectly cast in the original because he is a creepy looking dude. And who can forget that freaking gunshot to the head in the beginning of the movie? Next honorable mention, okay, this will be a spoiler on the movie High Tension, okay? High Tension. So I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, Marie from High Tension. This is a very controversial reveal too. A lot of people don't like High Tension because of that reveal, and there's an argument that it doesn't make sense. But I always counter with, this movie is told from the killer's mind, the killer's point of view. And this killer is somebody who's completely psychotic in the head. So you can't really trust everything that's in this killer's mind. So I can forgive that. I know a lot of the things don't really add up, but like I said, a lot of the things in this movie don't add up because what's in the killer's head doesn't really add up all the time. And you might call that like a cop-out, but to me, it fits with the character's mind. But I think Marie is such a great killer because she's completely infatuated and obsessed with her friend that they go to, I guess, this little vacation area so they can study. I guess it's to her parents' house, actually. But we were just talking about Maniac. This movie as well is very gritty and very dark, and you never see the ending coming whatsoever, but I really liked Marie as a killer. Okay, last honorable mention is going to be for the movie Fear. The character David, played by Mark Wahlberg. This is a great movie, actually. And I think Wahlberg is actually a really capable psychotic actor. I mean, he does a great job in this movie. He managed to really scare the audience. You know, there's a lot of moments in this movie where he's really, really, really intimidating. And that's all due to his performance. You know, mad kudos to Mark Wahlberg. And he's so good in this movie that I wish he would have done more roles like this. It's another one of those obsessed character type movies where it starts off, you know, girlfriend and boyfriend with Reese Witherspoon, and then later in the movie, he just is way over controlling. She finds out all this bad stuff about his past, and he becomes really dangerous. Okay, jumping into the top 10. Number 10 is The Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. This is probably one of the most original killers ever created by Victor Salva. Say what you want about Victor Salva's past, it's a horrible thing, and it's definitely an argument, a debate to be had, but I can't take away that the guy did create a memorable horror villain. And the Creeper is memorable because he like skins his victims and collects their faces. And there's a lot of creepy moments in this movie too, especially when like Justin Long character, he goes down that culvert and he sees, like, you know, the evil lair, I guess, of the creeper and all those faces. And I think the creeper's, like, lore is interesting too, how he comes. I think it's like every 28 years or something like that. And there's definitely some influence with Stephen King on that one. Number 9, a movie that came out a couple years ago, Don't Breathe, the blind man. They don't even give him a name in the movie, if I can recall, but he's just the blind man. But it's cool that, you know, this is such a dangerous person, even though he's blind. You know, and these robbers, it's one of those stories where robbers are in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they're messing with the wrong guy, and, you know, he can turn off the lights. So they can't see anything. So now they're in his world. And that movie had some crazy twists in the third act as well. And I am hoping and praying that we get a sequel to this movie. I know there's one that's been announced, so hopefully it's still happening. Number 8, I like digging back to ones that you might not have thought of. The Good Son, Macaulay Culkin, who plays Henry. And then you got Elijah Wood, who plays Mark, who's, like, I guess, the good kid. But everybody likes, like, an evil kid type movie, and Henry is definitely an evil kid. And what I love about this character is, like, his parents, they don't see it. So throughout the whole movie, you're, like, screaming at his parents, like, would you just listen to Mark? He's trying to tell you that this kid is trying to kill you. He's trying to kill his own sister. And this character was played, I think, beautifully by Macaulay Culkin. Because Macaulay Culkin, when he was a kid, was just the most adorable, cutest little thing. So you can buy that they wouldn't believe that. And I think this is something that's relatable too. A lot of times, you know, our children, they can be so adorable that we wouldn't dare think that they could, you know, be evil or just be bad. But Henry is an evil kid. And it's crazy at the end of the movie when the mother has to literally choose between her own son and her nephew. Crazy stuff. Number 7 is Ginger Snaps, the character Ginger. And I like this one because she doesn't start off like a bad person, but she eventually gets bitten by a werewolf and she becomes a werewolf. And so, you know, it's like she can't control the evil inside her. She's taken over by this, like, animalistic nature, and she does a lot of horrible things along the way in the last half of the movie. But I think Katharine Isabelle was perfect for the role. And I think Katharine Isabelle is probably one of the most underrated horror actresses out there. And I just love Ginger Snaps because it's one of the most unique werewolf movies I've ever seen. You know, it's really much more character-based than a lot of other werewolf movies. Because if you look at the creature design in this movie, it's very different than a lot of werewolf creature designs. And I like that about it. Number 6, Angela from Night of the Demons. Night of the Demons is one of my favorite 80s, I guess it's like a demon movie. I guess it would be a demon movie, right? But Angela, I think, is probably the demon that is the most memorable, of course, besides Linnea Quigley and the lipstick. But as far as being scary, Angela definitely takes the cake in that department. And you got that very memorable, iconic dance scene in the movie. But, you know, the scene where she is full-on demon and she's, like, coming towards the camera in that hallway, that is some scary shit. Number 5, we got a new horror icon, Art the Clown. And I think this sequel that's coming out will definitely cement Art as, like, you know, a current horror icon. I loved Art in Terrifier. It's one of those movies when I first saw it, I didn't like it as much because of how crazy it was, and maybe I just didn't, like, get it. But then it stayed with me, and I had to watch this movie again, and now every time I've watched it, I like it even more. And I really like Art as a character. I think David Howard Thornton is amazing as the clown actor. He's really creepy, and he doesn't even say a word, but he does a lot through his mannerisms, you know. It's a physical performance, and David Howard Thornton does a great job at it. And specifically for the kills, like, Art is a character that does not hold back. You know, if you've seen Terrifier, you know the kills are insane. Number 4, here's an old favorite of mine that most people don't talk about. Wes Bentley in P2. He plays a character by the name of Thomas. And this is this guy that's in this parking structure. I guess it's in this business office. And I think he plays, like, just a caretaker. And it's Christmas Eve. And Rachel Nichols, her character, is, like, stuck there. And she can't get out. And so he is, like, infatuated with her, and it becomes one of those really dangerous situations, you know? And so throughout the rest of the movie, he's not only psychologically torturing her, but also physically torturing her. And it's crazy when somebody's like physically torturing somebody when they're like infatuated with them, when they're, I guess they would say they're in love with them, even though he's not. He's just completely fucked in the head. Number 3, an old favorite, The Lost Boys, David, played by Kiefer Sutherland. This is probably one of the most memorable vampires in the last like 40 years. I just like what Kiefer brought to the role, you know, because there's been a million different vampire roles out there, and so how do you stand out from the pack? And he really does. He's the leader of this group. He's always in charge, and he's deadly. He's scary as hell, actually. And a lot of that's because of Kiefer Sutherland's performance. You know, he's one of those actors that can be really intimidating. And this might be one of my favorite performances of his. He's constantly like toying with Michael throughout the movie, you know, with the noodles, maggots scene. Psychological torture, you know, he doesn't even have to be like physically challenging, even though he's deadly as hell. I like a character that can do that, like the Joker, that can just play with their victims psychologically. And David does a great job at that. Number 2, everybody loves Sam from Trick or Treat, the anthology. But Sam definitely deserves this spot because he's probably the most memorable thing about that movie. You know, he's kind of like the mascot of the movie. He interweaves each story together, and he's just a fun character. Visually, he looks amazing. He's got a freaking pumpkin for a head. He looks like a dwarf. But I like that like juxtaposition with him because he looks like he wouldn't be like an antagonizing type of figure, and then all of a sudden he just like turns into one and becomes completely scary as hell. It's like a quick 180, you know? Like throughout the whole movie, you're not really scared of Sam at all. And then when he turns it on at the end and does that like that roar, then it's like an oh shit moment. But aside from all that, just visually, character-wise, Sam is just an undeniable character. And I'm surprised that we haven't gotten a sequel yet. I mean, they could even do like a Sam movie, just a standalone Sam movie if they wanted to. And I would watch it. It would be cool. Hold on just a second. Before we get to number 1, there is another movie that I wanted to give number 1 as well. I cannot believe I forgot about this, and I was wearing the damn shirt the whole video. But it's American Psycho, of course. And gotta give a shout out to Jason Mongold. I posted on my socials. I gave a little hint, and I said if anybody can guess what it is, then I'll give him a shout out. So Jason Mongold, you get the shout out, of course. But Patrick Bateman is probably one of the most unique and just completely psychotic characters out there. But I just love the movie itself and just the way that this story is told. There's a really dark comedic edge to this. So it's funny that you can just laugh at American Psycho while all these completely heinous, atrocious crimes are happening. And you know, weaving in these eccentricities of Patrick Bateman as a character, you know, talking about his love for 80s music and Huey Lewis and the News, Phil Collins, all that stuff. Don't Just Stare at It. So many great elements to American Psycho that make it so unique and make Patrick Bateman top this list, along with the other character that I'm about to give you here in just a second. No underrated horror killers list would be complete without Patrick Bateman. And number 1, I'm so excited to give this guy the number 1, John Ryder, played by the late, great Rutger Hauer in The Hitcher. This is undeniably one of the best underrated horror villains I have ever seen. And I love how he just constantly toys with C. Thomas Howell throughout the whole movie. I was just talking about killers that use like psychological warfare, and he does that throughout this movie, just making his life a living hell. Not killing him, but killing others in front of him. So that just completely screws him up in the head. You know, can you imagine the trauma that would cause somebody to constantly just have this guy on your back and you never know when he's going to show up? And there's been like a lot of theories around John Ryder because they don't give too much about him. Like, could he be like death itself? Could he be like an apparition? You don't know. And I think it's fun to play with those theories. And he just shows up out of nowhere. We don't know his backstory whatsoever. That's why John Ryder is such a great character. And another reason is because Rutger Hauer. The acting performance that this guy gives, I mean, I could put Rutger Hauer on this list 3 or 4 times for different roles that he's played in the past, especially in the 80s. He's that effective of an actor in terms of villains. So anyway, guys, that's it. That is my top 10 underrated horror killers part 2. I'm sure I missed some of your favorites. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day, and on Fridays we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Drumdum out.